So, Destiny 2 Bungie dropped a developer livestream, a ViDoc today about Renegades. We are 1 week away. I haven't had a chance to see much of this already. It's been a few hours since it's been out, but I'm so excited. Let's watch it. Let's go! Straight to a trailer.
You are supposed to protect the people, not rule them. The time of guardians as shepherds of humanity is over.
No!
I've been waiting so long for this. Dredge and hope.
That is so cool!
They've shown me a vision I can't shake. New Cabal, the Barrent Imperium, sprung up out of nowhere across the system. That doesn't just happen. It's
What?
the Nine, and I'm putting together a crew to prove it. What do you say, weapon?
Let's go! The
Welcome
lightsaber.
to the new Mars. Now the only law on Tharsis is the gun on your hip and the light in your hands. You'll do well here. I don't relish doing business with these leeches. But we need to find out what the Dredgen are after.
You crave justice. Why die for a criminal?
Why do you hate your own kind so much? It's time
Oh.
to take the fight to the Imperium.
That's the new weapon. Oh, more new weapons! Let's go! I love the fact that Drifter's a part of this, by the way. Having a Drifter story is always cool. The enemies are sick!
Finish it. And the Imperium is yours to lead. You will fall. But next time, we meet.
Only one play left.
Yes! Let's go!
All right. Hey everybody, welcome to Bungie, or our cantina
Is the sound
today.
okay?
We have converted our stream room in celebration of our upcoming release, Destiny 2 Renegades, collaborative effort with Lucasfilm Games. We are so excited. My name is Dylan. I'm going to be your host today, and we have a lot to go through. Have a few housekeeping notes before we dive in. Ultimately, if you are on Twitch, if you watch for 15 minutes, we have a fantastic emblem for you to earn, Seekers Not Saints. Make sure your Bungie.net account is linked, and you will earn this reward. Additionally, our community team, hey community team, love you. They're going to be going through chat throughout this stream and after we raid Leopard Stealth, one of our good friends. We have 25 Year of Prophecy digital editions to be handing out. So make sure your DMs are open. Keep an eye out for a DM from Bungie. And yeah, you might get yourself a code for a platinum platform that we offer. So,
Let's go!
what are we talking about here today? We just had our launch trailer. Destiny 2 Renegades is
I
launching
really like
in
the
7
background.
days. Countdown right now. 7 days from now, you're going to be in there playing. We got blasters. We got the Praxic Blade. We have a new ViDoc that actually we are sharing today. And this is going to be called Making of a Renegade. So after we watch our ViDoc, we have a panel of developers on the couch. We're going to be talking about the Lawless Frontier, our new activity that is coming with this experience, full of loot, full of fun experiences, and all that kind of stuff.
Was this today?
Without further ado, let's watch a new ViDoc, ViDoc 2, Making of a Renegade. Take it away.
Ooh, it was. Hi, and some
This
welcome.
is Destiny with the Star Wars lens, like this really cool combination that hasn't been done before.
I can't wait to take a Praxic Blade to Mars.
Don't be a ridiculous fan. Just stay cool.
Wait, we gotta swat it up and play through. Oh, yeah.
Wow, look at the environment. That's pretty cool.
This is why we got into games in the first place.
Wow. Wait! Okay, for anyone that knows Star Wars and is familiar with it, I am very jealous of you. Because I think a lot of this is like based of Star Wars and like the environment has like, you know, Star Wars vibes to it. And I feel like those that know Star Wars can probably really relate to this. And I can't because I don't know much Star Wars, but even though I may not know much about Star Wars, I know of Star Wars, and I think them collabing together is pretty cool just because I think Destiny and Star Wars has a similar vibe with it being in space and stuff. Oh, yes. Vive's video, I'm gonna have
Early
to do
on,
that.
we developed this
Yeah.
North Star, authentically Destiny, unmistakably Star Wars. It has to be something that feels like a Destiny story. It can't feel like a one-off. This can't feel like a side quest, right? Like this has to be a continuation of the Fate Saga.
I got this vision. I knew it came from the Nine.
But with Star Wars beats and Star Wars visual.
I want to Control 1.
This was uncharted territory for Lucasfilm Games, and that this is the first time we're telling a story inspired by Star Wars within a different universe.
That's really
At the
cool.
heart of like, I think every Guardian's identity is like this healthy, independent, rebellious streak.
We were excited to actually explore that scoundrel fantasy, bounty hunters,
I
the
know this area.
syndicates, going out and doing jobs with a ragtag team. We took inspiration from Star Wars to ensure the scale, visual language, soundtrack, and cinematic storytelling in Renegades delivered on everything fans will have come to expect from the franchise.
Wow.
The Praxic Blade
so cool.
collaboration stands out to me.
Because lightsabers are so iconic, it was absolutely critical to get that balance right.
The team at Lucasfilm Games was just so solutions focused. It wasn't, no, it has to be this way. It was a lot of back and forth and asking questions about how would this work? Well, let's talk about it. All right, oh, so we need a different energy source. Okay, what would that look like?
It was all about like what is best for the player.
God.
When we announced this collaboration to the studio, James may or may not have been wearing a fighter pilot helmet.
Yeah. Destiny and Star Wars shared that same beating heart. I was like, oh, this is gonna be special.
We were given such a unique challenge. How can we achieve the aesthetic and the feel of Star Wars without losing the narrative threads that we've created so far for Destiny at the same time?
It wasn't until we found our footing with creating a foundation in Destiny that things started to click together.
I remember the first time that we went down to San Francisco. We had this really big meeting where it was the Destiny narrative
so
folks on
excited,
one side
Campbell.
and the Star Wars narrative folks on the other side. We broke the
I love
ice
it.
by just asking, what's the bad version of this? We had a really good laugh over
Whoa.
what that looked like. And through that, we kind of uncovered that this should be the aesthetic, the vibe of Star Wars with the truth to Destiny's narrative that we knew needed to be there too.
Wow. Like, the aesthetics and everything look great.
We begin 2 months after the Edge of Fate has happened. The world has moved and changed, and we're still trying to figure out what Binding the Nine means.
The
Yeah.
Vanguard have redacted the prophecy of extinction.
They don't want the public to panic over this prophecy.
The crux of our story is the Drifter asking us to help him break Vanguard law for good reason to confront a new rising faction of Cabal called the Barren Imperium. It's what drives Eris to help the Drifter out as well as the player Guardian.
When we were thinking about what kinds of characters should be in this release, we thought about the kinds of archetypes we see throughout Star Wars.
Yeah, and Drifter is an easy parallel. He and Han Solo share a cocky attitude, both former criminals.
In Star Wars, there's a plethora of sassy droids. We have our own version of that through Ghosts, and Blue is no exception.
Oh, look. Thanks for nothing.
Blue is a Drifter's ghost, and I think as soon as people hear her, they'll be delighted and incredibly surprised.
Our voice cast is stacked. Dredgen Bale is portrayed by Alex Lee, who is amazing.
You are supposed to protect the people, not rule them.
And we also got Hollywood actual royalty Danny Houston to play Premier Loom, the head of the Barren Imperium. Being able to work with someone from that
awesome.
kind of IMDb page was such an honor, and I was completely normal the whole time.
Surrender
I love it.
to the Barrett Imperium.
Loom became this sweeping militaristic figure that I think is going to be a really good parallel to Grand Moff Tarkin or other evil military leaders from the Empire.
So even though we're introducing new characters, we're still looking backwards at some of Destiny lore's most long-standing characters. Honor is another example of that.
Wow.
She's our Praxic warlock.
She's loosely meant to be a parallel to something like a Jedi in Star Wars. She was part of a Vanguard internal affairs group that would police Guardians on the usage of darkness.
Don't make me regret abandoning my post to help you.
Not now, Honor.
Yeah, she has to grow up with the times a little bit because the world has changed and a whole lot of people are using darkness now, and she gets to grow and kind of ask herself, like, am I still adhering to my own values if I allow myself to be open to these kinds of ideas?
Well, it sounds
Belongs with
interesting.
us.
The Drifter left your cult long ago.
And then there's Bale, Dredgen Bale.
Dredgen is a dark guardian that represents absolute darkness.
Dredgen Bale doesn't like the fact that we're ruled by a city of immortals who can't step down and that weren't elected. He's got kind of a point, but his methods for addressing that point suck. He makes many bad choices.
He looks sick. I
One of my
really
favorite
like
parts
it.
about a lot of villains in Star Wars is that they have just like the capability of making a right choice and then consistently do not make good choices.
Bale is trying to fill a hole in his life in all the wrong ways.
And he just can't, and he never will.
Do we get his
we're gonna hope that he
armor?
does someday.
The time of guardians and
Honestly, though?
shepherds of humanity is over.
His armor does look sick. I would want it. Infusing the magic. Hello,
This has been an
Ninja,
opportunity
welcome
where you
in.
love Destiny, you love Star Wars, you want to do something with both. What are you going to put into it?
Oh my God, it was such a challenge at first, finding that sweet spot of how do we make something that can live in both worlds and not feel out of place in either, but also feel totally new and exciting. It wasn't always about where do we find the exact middle ground, 50-50 Star Wars and Destiny, because at that point, you're feeling almost a little derivative.
There's those moments along the way when we were like, this is just Star Wars. This is not the purpose of the collaboration. We want to have something kind of new that makes you think of both. I remember when we were trying to figure out what we're going to do with our new Cabal.
We started in that place where it's just Cabal wearing a stormtrooper outfit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until we injected more of that weird alien design of a lot of these armor sets. That was kind of what switched it over from this is too derivative to this is really working. I think it comes through in the visuals in every single map. There are little Easter eggs and little treats here and there that we hit around, and Lucasfilm Games has been awesome at collaborating with us and even putting some of their input
look at the
onto our maps so we
environments.
can really give the players something exciting.
I like the environment vibes.
The switch flipped in my head like, oh, we would never have done this without this collaboration was the Syndicates.
Yeah.
We're going places with the Vex and the Elixni and the Cabal that we really weren't going to go before.
Oh yeah, and trench coats.
And trench coats, yeah. We have Vex in trench coats that are playing cards. It's so awesome, and I don't think we would have dared do that if we didn't have this opportunity.
it.
No, and it was the perfect time in our universe to do it too. The Star Wars fans on the team just start coming out, telling their stories about what they're excited
Vex
to
are
build, and
cute.
far be it for me to get in the way.
They really are.
We make a lot of weapons in Destiny. How do you take a weapon in Destiny, which we have literally
Yeah,
like
let
4
us play
digits of
cards with the Vex.
and
Understatement.
right,
I hope so. That would be
and make
so
something
cool.
that feels
Little
new,
mini
but
game.
also does justice for Star Wars. And Blaster was really obviously the choice. They're roughly in 2 groups. There's dynamic blasters, which are intended to be harder hitting, firing a ton.
Hi, Jim Mama. The sound
force.
effects are sick.
And then we have a number of balance blasters. As you're shooting, and the heat is building up, you're going to have a venting opportunity where you can hit a perfect vent. It's like functionally a reload, so you can start shooting again much faster.
Sweet. I gotta ask though, what about those Cabal blasters? Are they accurate?
What difficulty are you playing on?
Dang. That was a stormtrooper joke. See, I know a little bit of
We have swords
Star
in Destiny,
Wars.
but we don't have a praxic sword. We don't have
We
a
do not.
lightsaber approximate. It's an exotic primary weapon that's kinetic, where you can reflect a bunch of blasts,
Ooh.
kill enemies with it, and throw it out and get a ton of damage.
Wow! They never showed that before. No sound effects.
Having the sandbox be able to explore this new like ability ecosystem with renegade abilities. We've taken so much of this opportunity and turned it into what we can like grow.
Every corner of the game, from the art, the design, the audio, the music, the UI, the rewards, completely infused with the magic of the collaboration. It's really been a real treat to be a part of.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
super satisfying.
She got one Star Wars reference. Let's go. Let's go. A boundless journey. Can you get a sneak peek?
Good morning, everybody.
The best part of the stream was the
Didn't mean to
music.
wake you up with that beat, sorry.
I'm excited.
The overarching theme for this was to create a score for this release that felt like it was cohesive as a whole. We're all talking to each other and collaborating with each other. We were able to explore different ways of orchestrating, different ways of writing with the orchestra that expand on the Destiny palette and make it fresh and new. When I look at the Star Wars scores, there were certain elements that naturally fit string flourishes or wood flourishes that would play into a certain moment. When it's like, oh, I know I want something to feel more Williams, so I'll push it, not this Williams, the John Williams, I'll push it more in that world.
Another thing too is the amount of percussion. I had some ideas that felt more full-on Star Wars, and once you like flesh out the percussion arrangement, it instantly sounds more Destiny as a result.
For me, a lot of it was about framing, where when I use a lot of the Destiny themes, how I set them up and how I'm transitioning in and out of moments are much more Star Warsy in terms of the harmony and orchestration.
I think the most exciting part about this was the opportunity to work with these guys and Mike.
You definitely made it a point to kind of bring us together and listen to each other's music.
But Brendan, you wrote something with the most beautiful oboe solo in it, and it drives me nuts that I didn't think of it first.
I love how like they're like, I don't know, they all, it's like friends at first sight. Does that make sense? They just all kind of understand each other. No, I think Destiny and Star Wars have a similar vibe. Yeah, definitely passionate. Destiny and Star Wars have a similar theme, right? It's about space. It's about different planets. It's about like fantasy in a way, right? It's not it's like space fantasy, exactly. And like they're definitely separate. They're two different things, but I can see the collab. It like just kind of fits, you know? It's not like I'm trying to bring an example. It just matches. The vibe matches because both of them have to do with fantasy. Both of them have to do with space. Both of them have like non-realistic enemies, things like that. So it like seeing a collab like that, I could see it happen. I think I could have always seen it happen. Like it can make a lot of sense. And I like the fact that they're not just adding Star Wars into a Destiny game, but they're also not adding Destiny to the Star Wars universe. They're actually like doing 50-50, right? They're putting like some Destiny, some Star Wars and tying it together to still feel like Destiny and like Star Wars without having one overpower the other. At least that's what they explained. And like I said, I may not know much about Star Wars, which annoys me so freaking much, because I was talking to someone else a while ago, and a lot of the trailers that they have brought out already, I have asked if like the environment, you know, the scenic environment, if all of that like has some type of Star Wars reference to it. And they said that it does. It may not look like the exact same map from like a place in the actual Star Wars movie, but it has like that similar vibe to it where you feel like you're surrounded by Star Wars, but it's also Destiny, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's like sci-fi and fantasy blended. Yes. Yeah, you know, one of the biggest things that helped spark Destiny was Star Wars. I feel like, I don't know, you know, I can see it. I can see it. I would like to say maybe you have told me that before, but I'm also not sure. But I can see it. I've never played I've never even played Halo before since like 3-4 weeks ago. I finally played my first Halo ever, and I can see how Halo like seems quite similar to Star Wars. It's not the same, two different things, but it has like a similar vibe to it where I was like, wow, you know, ships in the sky, you know, it just has like a similar vibe to like Star Wars. And I didn't know that because I never played Halo before, and also have never seen much about Halo, but I can see it. And I like, as someone who doesn't know much about Star Wars, I'm happy to say that even I am excited. I can definitely see a lot of Star Wars fans being like really excited about this because it's like, oh, you know, Destiny and Star Wars put together. But as someone who doesn't know much about Star Wars, I am extremely excited for this. I feel like I'm gonna learn a lot about Star Wars, and I'm willing to learn a lot about Star Wars. Maybe this even gets me to like watch more Star Wars and finally get into Star Wars as well, you know, afterwards. But yeah, I like, so far what they've talked about, what they've showed, it's really good. It's nice to know that even with the music they explained, they don't want to just take Star Wars music. They don't just want to take Destiny music. They kind of blended it together. Some Star Wars, some Destiny vibes, and made it together to become like, you know, its own thing. So you can't say that like, oh, it's, you know, 90% Destiny or 90% Star Wars. And I think that's really good. Yeah, I think you've told a lot of people that you don't remember who all. I feel like it doesn't sound like brand news to me. I think you might have mentioned it when I played Halo, because it didn't come off as news for me, but I can 100% like, because I can 100% see how especially Halo has like a lot of Star Wars feels for someone who doesn't even know that much about Star Wars. But I've already seen a little bit of like the videos that they showed. I have already noticed a few like Star Wars parts that I knew, like the ones where they were playing cards and like at the bar and stuff. I used to play a Star Wars video game, so I know that place like inside out.
No one wanted to follow Brendan is what it came down to. Brendan's cues just sound amazing from the start.
I remember knowing your first high action cue. Everyone was like, whoa! Because it's really fast, really intense. Josh kept on like spinning around and looking at you.
Humans have to play this. Jeez.
That sounds good!
Destiny has like so many themes, and that's like a great vehicle for doing the Star Wars spin.
Our first meeting was discussing that main theme, and I remember hearing it for the first time. And everybody kind of perked up when we all heard it. We're all having ideas that were just a little bit different from one another. That was all sort of impacted what the final version of the theme was.
Dredge and Bale.
No way, that sounds
kind of
sick.
teed off the main theme, and the fact that we were exploring the idea of this kind of anti-Guardian character set in this story of scoundrels. We wanted something that would be a backbone to tell a longer arc story. It has a layer of ominousness to it. It has a layer of mystery to it, but it can be turned other ways.
I felt a sense of menace.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to get to experience it with players.
Just really hope that, personally, I've written something that they can really connect with and love, and if I can cause a couple of goosebumps in there, I'll take that as a bonus too.
Already having
Players
goosebumps.
get taken on a journey that inspires them and makes them feel like this world is really unique and really special.
My favorite feeling as a creator is getting to watch someone's look of like absolute surprise.
You know, as I can 100% agree with what Allison just said, you know, as someone that like is a storyteller or somebody that creates something or is part of like a creation, I think it is a really cool thing to see people's like reactions and like facial expressions and like, you know, opinions of whatever like twist and turn the story just took and everything. So yeah, I see what you mean though, Funky Santa. Hello Maxie, welcome in. The music that you believe is the Dredgen theme is so powerful that will feel so good in game. I agree, yes indeed. So yeah, I think music just in general has really big impact in like, you know, games. So yeah, Bungie's always been good with you know, having all the people that work behind the music. They just do an incredible job. You love Star Wars and you love Destiny, but you're a little skeptical on this expansion, but only because you have gotten okay, your hopes up too much lately. Well, we're less than a week away now, so hopefully you end up liking what you see when we get to play it next week.
To feel hope, that exciting, boundless potential that Destiny has, and world of possibility that Star Wars unlocked.
Oh, yeah! Every scene there's a little lightsaber.
So long for this.
Wait! Did you guys see that? Is that Drifter's, like, tag?
I've been waiting so long for this.
I swear, if Drifter dies, it's over. I'm walking out. I can't handle that. It's over.
All right, welcome back to the Cantina. So what you just saw was our second ViDoc, Making of a Renegade, or What It Takes to Make a Renegade. This is our moment to really peel back the curtain and show you how games are made. It's a monumental effort, and what you saw, it was a mix of our narrative design, audio, our collaboration efforts with Lucasfilm Games. Many thanks to everyone involved. Also, a few folks that weren't pictured there, ranging from design, production, test. Even a shout out, I got to give it to IT for keeping our computers running, and our services folks too for keeping our servers running. So today we're going to be talking about the Lawless Frontier. This is our new activity coming with Destiny 2 Renegades, and we have 3 developers on our couch to talk us through what we're seeing. It'll be a fun deep dive. So without further ado, let's get some introductions. Eric Smith, we're starting with you.
DMG, Damage 04. Yes, my name is Eric Smith. I am a combat design lead on Destiny 2. You may know me from my work where I was the design lead on the Strand subclasses. I started kind of making the stasis abilities, and most recently the Renegades ability buffs.
Awesome. Yeah, next up, Tom Farnsworth. This is
I agree. We did see in the ViDoc the Drifter aged a little bit. Yeah. I love a story that includes the Drifter, and I feel like I'm not the only one, and I think there's other people in there that just love the storylines that includes Drifter. I think Drifter is an awesome character, and he's just full of mystery still to this day. There's still so much we don't know about him, and I think every time he's a part of it, there's like this new thing that comes out of him, and he's like, you know, hey, by the way, I've been keeping this a secret for a really long time, but I actually have a connection with this person, and you're just like, what the frick? You know, I think having Drifter part of it all the time is great, but, yeah. I'm excited, but, yeah.
First time that you and I are in a stream together, but a quick introduction for folks that may not have seen you in
you actually just replayed the end mission for Edge of Fate, and you do see him age when he's getting sucked into Singularity. Oh my gosh, what the heck? I don't remember that part too much. I might actually have to, like, go back in and watch that again. That's good to know. Yeah, since this ghost is not a regular ghost. Right, really? Like, right now? If you go see him now at the tower, he's very old. Wait, what? Alright, well, you guys know what we're gonna be doing after this ViDoc. We're gonna visit the Drifter. You can go to him in the tower, and now he's aged. What? I had no idea! That's so... what the heck? I had no idea. I swear, if we lose the Drifter, we're gonna have problems. We're gonna have a lot of problems. And I don't know what this is, but can we like take a moment to see these cool looking drinks that they have? It looks really cool. I've been seeing them on like every table that they've been having.
ViDocs.
Yeah, so I'm Tom, the creative lead
When you
for
got close to
Renegades,
3.
and I've been at Bungie for like, I don't know, I can't even remember, like 13, 14 years. Worked on Destiny 1, Destiny 2. The highlights were probably like Dreaming City, Season of the Splicer, 30th and Into the Light were the most recent things I worked on leading in this, but this has been an absolute blast to work on.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for joining us today. And last but not least, our grid skipper aficionado, Taylor Bjorndal.
Cool,
how you doing?
Hawaiian.
Great. Yeah, Taylor Bjorndal, associate weapons designer, here to talk about all the rewards and blasters and the practice played and all the other stuff we made for you to chase.
Awesome. Yeah, so just for folks, if you end up missing anything, if we go a little bit fast, we got a lot to pack through. We'll have a VOD on Twitch and YouTube after this. And if you missed our ViDoc or the launch trailer, those will be uploaded as well. So what we're seeing on screen right now, we're launching into our Lawless Frontier activity. Tom, I would love to put the spotlight on you. Let's give a quick description. What is the Lawless Frontier?
So the Lawless Frontier is our core game mode in Renegades. You're going to play through some of the campaign, but it's really what comprises our end game. And the idea is that you're a renegade, you're taking on these shady jobs like bounty hunting, smuggling, and sabotage from our syndicates, and you're doing so to, you know, increase your notoriety, your power, and your riches, you know, and of course to get some sweet loot.
Yeah, and when you talk about bounty hunting, sabotaging, that kind of stuff, those are different types of this activity, right?
Yeah, their bounty hunting is all about taking out a key syndicate boss. Sabotage is about blowing the heck out of everything with your renegade abilities, you know, dropping airstrikes on Cabal vehicles, and smuggling is about grabbing everything that isn't, you know, tied down.
Smuggling.
Yep. In true fashion, when you're going into a dangerous spot, you got to just grab whatever you can find, right?
Yep.
So today we're going to be focusing on bounty hunt, and I believe you said this is kind of like a quintessential Destiny vibe of an activity, right?
I hope
yeah,
so.
It's probably the closest to a traditional Destiny activity, but you're going to start in the ready room, which is kind of a unique experience, and you're going to be able to pick your renegade abilities in there from your little shank buddy that's in there. You'll hop aboard Hawk, and you'll drop down to the destination. You can see we're already on one of the Mars maps that we have. There are all these jobs taking place across Mars, Venus, and Europa, and there's 2 maps on each destination. This is Hellas Fortitude, and right now we're doing a bounty hunt, and we're working.
I have an unpopular opinion, and maybe we'll get there eventually, but I really hope that the lightsaber is going to be like really, really, really strong once it drops. You know, I think what a lot of games do is that if there is a new weapon drop, they make it a little extra powerful, because that's what gets people
30 months.
to like...
I wish I could do the Todos.
That's what gets people to, you know, want to get on and be like, wow, this is like super... Okay, they'll go over into details about it later. Okay. Because I was gonna say, even if it's not powerful, I hope they change it to make it kind of extra broken, just so we can have fun at the beginning. I think having new weapons drop extra broken is a lot more fun than it not being the best in like DPS or something, or you know, whatever it's used for. I'll
draw
shut up.
out the intel officers to track down where our target is. After this, there'll be resurgence of the security forces of that target. They'll have a classic.
Sorry, Bungie has said they like to release weapons OP then to it later, and that's what a lot of gaming companies do.
Here's my
but
Todos.
the thing is, oh my gosh, I'm awake. The thing is that the newest weapon, the axe that they brought out, I feel like they did not make it powerful at all, and like, I love the axe. I think it's such a cool design. I just wish they would have accidentally made it too powerful so we could have some fun at the beginning when it dropped. And because of my certain build and what I was using, and because it wasn't as powerful, I didn't even get to use that weapon as much when I was doing my raffles compared to if it were more powerful. That's going to be like the only thing that I would be using, if that makes sense. What is happening?
Boss fight, but with a bunch of wrinkles thrown in for gameplay here of things, hazards that are at play, your abilities, maybe an invader, which we'll talk about later, and then you'll exfil with your bounty and get some loot and take that back to our social space, Tharsis Junction, where you'll be able to spend your currencies to buy some of the cool blasters, or maybe some of the cosmetics and customizations for the Praxis Blade we're going to talk about later.
Awesome. Nice. Yeah, and I mean, so as we're going through this, we're going to be seeing a lot of abilities that players know and love on screen, but we have new abilities, Renegade abilities, that are going to be for this activity. And Eric, you're going to be our person of knowledge here.
Yeah.
What do we got on screen?
Yeah, so Renegade Abilities is a new ability system we have in Renegades. What you do is we have a brand new button for you to press. That's going to be R3 on the controller and then Z on the keyboard. And that's going to kind of switch you into a different mode that gives you new abilities for your grenade and your melee. That sends out one of these tokens. We have here on the screen, you can see we have one called Revitalize that heals you and provides you with ability energy. And then we have the other one, which is the Deflector Shield, which is this zone I can sit inside and shoot out of, and it blocks all the incoming damage. It's also going to, for my allies who are inside the shield, it will amplify them and then jolt any enemies who pass through it. And all of these have 7 levels of upgrades. So when you first start, they will have certain functionality and certain strength, and as you upgrade them, they're going to get better and better. And they really change the gameplay, right? Like they're kind of these pocket supers almost, that as a hunter, I'm able to be like, I'm going to build support, right? I'm going to choose these 2 support Renegade abilities and make sure my team has what they need to survive this tough environment. You can also see in this mode we have non-regenerating health. So things like that Revitalize Renegade ability are really going to come in handy to be like, we need to take a break and heal. Let's pop over here to some safety, and anyone can build into that. If
no
that's
healing.
We have things like vehicles that you can pull in, or you can call down from your ship. So that's one thing. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, well, before we get to the ship, actually, let's talk a little bit more about the health mechanics in here. Because we had this in some previous activities like Nether, and we got a ton of great feedback on like how much you get back, how you get it back, and I've seen already in this activity, as you're going through, there are some pots, there's some ways that you can get it. There are the Renegades abilities, but Tom, if you want to talk a little bit more about it.
We took Nether as a base, but I'd say this is a little bit more forgiving. The way that health works is, you've got a large pool of health. It does not regenerate at the top level, but if you get down to 0, it will regenerate to the base shield, so you're going to suffer the red flashing screen. And you can either use a normal sandbox like a rift, a healing support weapon. You can crack open these pots that have those little healing orbs you can see on the screen to get some of your health back. Or you can use things like Revitalize and like build your Renegade abilities into kind of dealing with those kind of challenges we're putting in front of you. And one thing that I really like about this mode is like we've got Expert, Master, Grandmaster, and on the Grandmaster you're really gonna need to use all these abilities that kind of like coordinate with your teammates and kind of build a loadout.
I like the sound of that.
Challenges we put in front of you.
Awesome. Yeah, so going back to, you had mentioned the ship when we're using our Renegade abilities. And I think earlier, outside of the Vex Dome, there was kind of like an airstrike that happened too, right?
Yeah, we have a strafing run that you can upgrade, and your ship, so the one that you have customized and put your shader on, will fly through the arena and drop bombs in sequence, right? And as I upgrade this, it gets more and more devastating until it like is, you know, but beyond any of the supers we have in the game. It's incredible. There's another one that is the Cabal drop pod, and what that does is, you know, if you're familiar with a Cabal drop pod, it is this giant metal ball that slams into the ground. And in this case, it is almost like a supply drop because it's full of ammo. And it's also going to squish anything under us. And it does incredible damage. Not only
we finally
that,
get to squish enemies.
It will damage you and your teammates. So you got to be really careful.
It will delete them.
Yeah, just delete them. You got to be careful where you drop this.
Offensive.
Wait, friendly fire
But
confirmed?
be the Cabal now. You can turn it around on them.
Yeah. So we've had you kind of sitting quiet over there. I'd love to talk about the blasters that our players have been using. So in the ViDoc, we were talking about the balanced blaster and the dynamic blaster. Can you break down each, just a quick review of each, and then we can talk through some of the reload mechanics?
Yep, sure. So yeah, we have two sets of blasters. Or two different kinds of blasters. The dynamics are like more aggressive, harder hitting, faster rate of fire. They can like generally punch above their weight class, but they're like a little bit harder to manage heat on. The balanced blasters is more like a rain of bullets. Like I'm just gonna unload on a big pack of stuff and like really have like a deep mag.
Cool. And what you can see on screen right here, these are going to be all the blasters that you can get from running our Lawless Frontier activity, and then we'll actually have a slate of blasters that you can earn through the dungeon, which we'll talk a little bit about later. But yeah, when it came to really balancing blasters and bringing them into Destiny as a new kind of weapon type, I would love to hear what were the challenges, what was some of the fun in developing those things with the team?
Absolutely, yeah. So like one of the things that was in the ViDoc was kind of finding the balance of like how much Star Wars versus how much Destiny we wanted on these things, and it was a collaborative effort with basically everybody on the team. These were Mercule's project for most of this release. But it was like a big effort on design, test, animation, audio to really sell the experience of using these and to make them look and feel the part for like what people would expect from both the Destiny gun and the Star Wars blaster.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, since we're on the topic of loot and gear, our Guardian right now is using the new Praxic Blade and also getting smashed by a Cabal drop pod. But I'd love to hear about the customization that y'all developed for this. And this can be Tom and Bjorn talk to it, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so you're going to get the Praxic Blade by collaborating with Honor throughout the campaign. She's going to like deem you worthy of earning it. You'll go on a cool little quest that I don't want to spoil to earn one for yourself. And then post-campaign, you're going to unlock the ability to customize it. You're going to be able to change out your dark matter crystals and change the color of the blade to match your personality. And you're going to be able to change a bunch of different mods and gameplay elements, right?
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of different things you can kind of swap to fit your playstyle on this, where we have forms, cores, mods, and 4 different catalysts on it. And the forms kind of change like how you can get ammo back and give you some damage bonuses based off of different gameplay styles. And the cores let you apply subclass verbs to a different part of what the weapon does, depending on something that matches your subclass. So like you can add Sever to like the saber throw, or something else like Weaken or Jolting.
Yeah, it creates these really cool combos where I am strike, I'm throwing to debuff enemies and then getting it back and striking again.
Yeah, and during a couple of our trial runs with this, you were talking about there are some animations and different combos in your melee structure, right?
Yeah. So there's like a 3 or 4 hit combo you can do where you will end it with like a big spinny move that's like very thematic, almost kind of like how the Arc Staff has like the little hidden combo there.
Awesome.
I did want to call out, we also saw the Renegade ability, the turret that we have. It is called the Piker Mortar, and it is like the strongest turret we've ever built. Like it is, it has crazy range, crazy damage, and is a really nice, I'm going to throw this thing out to manage this part of the map.
That's cool.
While I deal with other stuff.
Perfect. Yeah, no, so as we're coming to the end of this activity, I'd love to just know kind of some of the narrative dressing. So as you're going into the Lawless Frontier, it's our activity, but also kind of like the feel of this experience. And there's a turf war going on. I know, Robbie, in a previous stream, we were talking about the turf war a bit, but Tom, if you could expand on that and how that sets up this activity.
Sure. So in the end game, the syndicates are in this kind of ongoing turf war across Mars, Venus, and Europa, and you can kind of take advantage of that by you know, taking on their contracts that they offer and kind of winning out the day for them. But in doing so, you can extract maximum power, profits, rewards from them, and you can take anything you earn through engaging in these jobs and completing these priority contracts they offer. You can go back to the social space. You can. They each have their own reward track, like the Pikers, the Tharsis Reformation. They offer weapons to unlock, new abilities, upgrades for those abilities. Some elements or mods for the Praxic Blade, and a whole bunch of other things like some shaders too. So you can kind of like rep your favorite syndicate on your armor, which is pretty cool. It's definitely one of the, with the Lawless Frontier, it's one of the most cohesive and deepest modes we've ever built. Like everything from this mode ties into the holo map, into the different mini game modes within it, into the social space. So like it's going to be exciting to see players kind of peel back all the layers.
I like the
maybe
sound
get into
of
the darker corners like Invasion.
Yeah, and I mean, so we've progressed. We've defeated the boss that we were hunting down for our bounty hunt. And this portion of the activity is kind of emblematic of we're in a lawless frontier that's dangerous. Even after you've finished your objective, now it looks like you got to fight your way out.
Yeah, so every job in the lawless frontier, in this case bounty hunt, like it escalates over time. So it gets harder the longer you're there. So there's real pressure to get in, do your objective, and get out. Just so like, right now we're in the exfil. This is the final moments of the activity. You send up a flare, you call your ship in, the Cabal are pouring down on you here, you're throwing out your renegade abilities, and you're just trying to survive until your ship gets there. In this case, each of the 3 jobs, bounty hunt, smuggle, and sabotage, have their own unique mechanic. So for bounty hunt, you have to take out these 3 mini bosses, which we call retaliators here.
It sounds actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so as our fire team is fighting their way out, we actually do have a preview of
Oh
a
yeah,
fun
the first thing you heard so far that got you interested. The longer thing goes on, the harder it gets is your thing. Hey, love to hear that, Insum. Now that's awesome. Yeah, no, this activity is sounding very intriguing. I'm liking the sound of it. It definitely sounds like something we haven't had before, which is a big plus if it ends up being like that, because we don't want another activity that kind of just feels like something we've had before. It definitely seems like they've added into a lot of this, and I do agree, the longer the thing goes on, the harder like it gets. I think sounds really interesting. Looks like a few different mechanics, and you can make, from the sound of it, you can make every activity feel different, right? Because they were talking about these new extra like ability system that they added in, and if you want, you can go for healing, or for something like with grenades, or something with like a whole different thing. And you can decide like, oh, this next match I'm gonna try and keep the team alive, or this next match I'm gonna try and be the person to ad clear the most. It kind of seems like you can. It doesn't. It's, from the sound of it, it shouldn't feel like every match is the exact same way. It does seem like there's differences in between all those matches, which is always a nice thing to have. You'd be curious to know if after you killed the bounty, but you wiped during this part, would you have to redo it all again? That is a good question. If they don't end up mentioning it, I guess we'll have to find out. I don't know. I mean, at the beginning, they did say that I'm pretty sure if you got the bounty and you exfil, then you get to go back out and get rewards from it. So I'm gonna assume that if you wiped, even after you got it, because you didn't actually exfil the activity, it sounds like you would have to restart, which would suck. It would suck a lot. Oh, is it Bear? I've never played the game. Vans, Hello, Vince. I'm doing good.
It's
How are
coming
you
with
today?
the reward pass in Destiny 2 Renegades. I believe we have a preview that we can share. But Bjorndal, if you could give a quick overview of our exotic machine gun.
Yeah, so this is the Service of Luzaku. It's a very unique.
The what? What? The
Yeah, so this is the Service of Luzaku.
Did anybody catch the name? Because I didn't. Something Baku?
Of our exotic machine gun.
Yeah, so this is the Service of Luzaku. It's
Zaku.
a very unique.
Oh, Service of Luzaku. Oh, okay. Sorry, but I had no idea what he said. Oh my god, I was like something. Oh, okay. Luzaku is a friendly Lucid Hive wizard. Okay. Oh, it's starting to make so much sense. That's why it has the whole. Yeah, it has like the Witch Queen vibes to it, basically. The Hive wizard that helped us during the final ship campaign. Yep, I remember her. She was helpful. Sorry, that it just it just sounded so funny.
Machine gun. It's almost like a necromancer, broodweaver theme where you turn your enemies into these little nests of threadlings that you can like shoot and then spawn more and like build it up to control like a space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Endless
Threadlings just got a buff, correct?
I don't know.
Threadlings did get a buff. They're smarter than they were before.
Yeah, and sorry, so to segue more appropriately, over the last few weeks we've been doing a series of blog articles with y'all on the Sandbox team talking about the core game updates coming to Destiny 2 available to all players. So we have a lot of quality of life changes that are coming to your supers, your subclass abilities, all that kind of stuff that we just previewed yesterday. One of which, Warlock focused, was around Threadlings, your strand abilities. Yeah, if you want to cover that really quick.
Yeah, so you can see here the Warlock is moving while rifting, which is a huge kind of quality of life upgrade that allows you to dodge attacks, get into cover, close the gap while you're casting your ability. Works really well with the new Warlock exotic as well. So there are, if you haven't seen that article we put out yesterday, please check it out. There's a lot of great buffs. We've shown hunters a lot of love. We love our hunters. We want them to feel powerful.
Yeah, we saw some feedback with the exotic tuning article. Hunters were like, "Sure, wait, I want to see more." Which in the future we will definitely have more. But in the abilities
preview, talk about the future, but we can't. But because there's a lot of exciting hunter stuff that we are working on.
So with the abilities updates for hunters, Golden Gun got a pass.
Yeah, so Golden Gun got a pass. Does more damage and now scorches on impact. We fixed an issue where you had to step outside of your well to get full damage. Now you can stay in the well. Outside of that, we saw in the gameplay Gunpowder Gamble. If you throw it and you shoot it before it explodes naturally, it does more damage, more radius, and also spits out little kind of seeker projectiles.
Yeah, and as we're getting our loot, we need to cover the Titan changes for Sentinel. Yeah, the big.
Yeah, Sentinel Shield. We're excited about this one. So Sentinel Shield is getting a shift a little bit.
A bit of a rework, right?
Yeah, a bit of a rework. The usage rates weren't great, and we want to provide something that is kind of on par with Well, as far as like, what am I going to take into a raid to support my team? So in Renegades, your Sentinel Shield, as you're holding it up, your allies behind your shield are going to auto reload, and there's just kind of rhythm to it. So if you can fire at the right time, you can just be like rocket. So like the actual like damage increase is big. Not only that, but as I guard my enemies and the shield takes damage, I'm charging this bar up that charges up my shield throw. And at full charge, that shield throw is going to do Thunder Crash level damage, which, depending on how players use it, maybe you even get 2 of those out of a single super. Like it's strong. And that's what we want, right? We want to provide that power fantasy to players. I think this era of Destiny is like
Just saying, there's been multiple phrases that they have been using. I don't know why I'm doing this. There's been multiple phrases, or multiple times they've used the phrase Thunder Crash levels of damage, which is insane. They've used it multiple times now.
Fun first.
In like the
we want
blogs.
players to have a great time and feel overpowered.
I'm gonna hold you to it. Yeah, I honestly can't wait. But yeah, so we finished our activity, our first run of the Lawless Frontier. Now we're gonna go into another. And Tom, you had mentioned invasions earlier in the stream, and this is gonna be our opportunity to show a little bit of that. Flavor. We're going to look at some of the UI in the orbit screens and our new holo map, and then we're going to show what it is to be invaded. New optional activity type as well, right?
Yeah. So in Invasion, like you might be familiar with Gambit. This is kind of like a new take on that kind of familiar mechanic here in Renegades, and we want players that kind of take on the role of a bounty hunter working for the syndicates, tracking down these renegades that are messing up their operations, taking out their commanders, stealing their stuff. And so you get to be kind of play on the other side here. You get to play on the opposition. So you're allied with all of the enemy combatants on the field. You can kind of wade in amongst them and pick and choose the strategic moment where you want to kind of like lash out at these playars and like steal their bounty.
Yeah. So how do you launch into this?
So here's the holo map, just for everybody. This is kind of a standard interface for the Lawless Frontier. This is how you access the social space, all of our jobs, and then in the end game we unlock the yellow node, which is invasion, and the red node, which is the contested territory. Ooh. So we can take a look at the contested node here. This is where all every day the syndicates are fighting over one of the maps on each of the planets, and you can kind of, as a defender, kind of throw in your pledge to the side you want to fight for. But these are also invadable nodes. So one thing I want to highlight is that invasion is opt-in. It's not a requirement. So if players don't want to deal with PvP, they can do like an expert difficulty for this, or they can just go to any of these other nodes on the map here that aren't invadable. But for the priority, the contested node on the highest difficulties, that's where the highest rewards are. That's where the invasion is. Now, on the other side, if you're an invader, you don't need to worry about the nodes. You can just go to the invasion node. You need to have some death marks, which are a currency you earn by playing by just playing Lawless Frontier. You'll just accumulate them. And one interesting wrinkle here is you can actually wager those for additional rewards. So if we go to the little pane here on the side, there's these things. There's the death marks. You can interact with them two or three times to double and triple your rewards, which obviously you're taking on some risk here. If you go do an invasion and it doesn't go your way, you could lose those tokens, but I think a lot of players are going to want to do this because they can just get triple rewards on each invasion, which is really exciting. And on the other side, for people being invaded, if you take the invader down, you're going to get more time on the clock. You're going to get some revives back, and every time you kill an invader, they have the chance to drop extractables, which are rewards you can dunk at the end of the activity to get bonus armor, weapons. Yeah.
Stellar. So let's get our invader launched in here.
Bye-bye inventory space with the new currencies. And I know if I just say they want us to feel overpowered, weird, because every time that happens, they nerf the frick out of us. You're not wrong. Your question is that the damage only for the first hit, or does it count for all the bounces? For the shield toss, as much as I would love for it to count for all the bounces, I think it's probably just going to be like the first initial hit and then like less damage after that. But I guess we'll see.
We'll go back to our gameplay team. But while we're loading in, let's talk about what is the actual kind of approach to invasions. What are the objectives aside from seeking out guardians and destroying them?
Yeah. So as an invader, you're gonna start in the ready room, which we're gonna show in a minute here. You're gonna pick your loadout, like what's the right renegade abilities to bring in, and we've seen in playtest there's like a lot of different fun combos here. Like, are you gonna bring in the deflector shield, and then like the other team's gonna drop one, and then you're fighting on the Venn diagram of the deflector shields, or are you gonna just be a little more brute force and drop a behemoth and like kind of like, but try to be sneaky about it, and that's pretty hard to be sneaky in a giant walker. But you want to really pick those moments as the invader, because your goal here is to get 6 kills or 3 kills and 3 caress. Like you've got 6 points you need to get. You've got about 5 minutes to do it. You've got 3 lives. You've got just enough time to really kind of like get in there, see where they are, kind of like rotate around, and then do a surgical strike, and then try to get them all in one go. And if you're lucky, you can do that, but you've got a few chances. And on the other side, they're going to know you're there. They're going to see that there's an invader on the field, but they're also trying to juggle the objectives that are on their side. And
they don't know when in the activity it's going to happen, right? So it could happen early on, it could happen later.
Yep.
But it only happens once per
Only
activity.
once.
Yeah, gotcha.
Cool. And then one of the fun dynamics here too is playing the waiting game. You can instill a little bit of anxiety in that team you're invading. So you don't have to hop in immediately and go guns blazing. You can wait until they're at a pivotal moment where they're like, "Where's this guy?
Yeah,
What's
wait
going to
until
happen?
they fight the boss.
It's been 3 minutes. Where are
Wait
they?"
until someone breaks off to go find a chest.
Yeah. Oh man. So in terms of balancing as well, are there any like extra abilities or things that invaders are going to have at their disposal, or is it just a match of the renegade abilities?
It's mostly renegade abilities, though. Invaders will have, some amount of super, no heavy, and when they come in, we do highlight the PvE, the defender players, just so like they have a little bit of an idea where to go, and they can use that knowledge to kind of plan their initial attack.
Cool. Yeah, and it's been a bit of a balancing act as you've been going through this in the different cycles. In Gambit, like we juice that invader because it's a 1v4. In this, because you have the chaos of the lawless frontier and all that kind of stuff. Like you want it to be tilted a little bit because it's 1v3, but also you want to make sure if players are opting into this, they still have a fighting chance.
Yeah.
So.
And there's also the element of the non-regenerating health, which is a larger health pool, right? We've tuned it so it's more or less the same TTKs or time to kills as you have in Crucible, but players don't regenerate health, so you kind of have to take that into account when you are. When you're
there's some attrition that can happen, like for the invader, where they can kind of wear people down if they're not paying attention.
We have our invader in their ready room. Let's talk about their shank buddy here.
Yeah, here's our little shank buddy. You want to speak to any of these abilities there?
Yeah, so we have 9 renegade abilities here. Huge shout out to Cat Sayers and the rest of the tech design team for all their work on these. I mean, it looks like right now we got Nate picking the Imperium Behemoth and the Drop Pod, but yeah, there's a variety of ones to choose from. We have 3 different vehicles, and each of those vehicles have different upgrades with different functionality.
Yeah, and the Behemoth has like 3 or 4 versions of
right?
Yeah, there's like missiles and the audio and everything is just so good. Okay.
All right, it's pretty cool. So you talk to your little shank buddy, and you can like, what do you want to be more overpowered in? Like you can get some like really good stuff by choosing one of those, which seems interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little confused with this activity. A lot more confused than I am of the other activity, but they both seem really fun. This one definitely seems like the more harder one, but what I really hope is that the rewards from both of the activities are going to be good. I need the loot of this to be good. I'm pretty sure like fashion is going to be good, but I need the weapons to also be good. Like even if like Bungie doesn't want these weapons to be as overpowered as we want them to be, I hope that they purposely tune it a little overpowered. Because, like, that is what makes us play the game, right? And that is what makes us play the activities, because we're like, oh, we really want this overpowered weapon that's, like, really good right now. So I do hope that that happens. They can nerf it later.
Our invader has started. It looks like moving toward our targets and preparing to throw that coin. So you can see there, they clicked that right stick. And that is going to ready the ability. They then throw the ability and just drop the drop pod to get heavy ammo. Yeah. So need some heavy ammo to go into battle.
That's really cool. And the fact that those Cabal balls like literally kill you or your teammates if you're under or enemies is really funny. I cannot wait to see all the funny stuff that people have with this. Not invading with times for Izzy. Tisk 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 tisk.
Before we were hopping in here before the stream, we were talking about like the size of the maps and how as an invader, like the first few runs you might feel maybe a little lost because there's a lot of space to cover, but as you get more acquainted with Europa or Venus or Mars, you can find better paths to get directly to the combat, right?
Yeah, these are some of our bigger maps we built. They're more comparable to like our larger public spaces that we built in Destiny. And again, there's 6 of them, and like there's any number of arenas these PvE players can be in that you're going to be.
Oh, that was a Guardian.
So our invader just wiped one out with the Thunder Crash and tried to hide and throw out the beacon for the.
I'm a little confused. Is the goal of this activity to only defeat other Guardians? I mean, I get that it's supposed to be like, they did say it's supposed to be like kind of like it, not the same as Gambit, but it has like a Gambit vibe to it with invading, obviously. But I'm a little confused if that's all the ammo I get. That's what it says on the left side. Right, it says defeat opposing Guardians. Okay, so if you're an invader, as an invader they are, the others are doing what I assume are bounties. Okay. Okay, so as an invader, that is your main goal while the other people focus on whatever they need to do. Okay, I think that's what confused me. Thank you! It sounds pretty fun. I suck at invading, so whatever the other thing is, I might be doing that.
The Walker, yeah, or the Imperium Behemoth, as we call it. But then got needle stormed right before they could jump into it.
Thank you.
That was incredible.
So that's one of those strategic moments of like, how do I put the chess pieces down? How do I approach this and all that?
That was interesting because they invalidated that beacon right before.
Triangulate target location. Triangulation complete. Okay.
Or they could use it. So the timing was impeccable.
Oh man. Oh boy, what was I just talking about? The size of the maps. Yeah, in rewards, I wanted to ask really quick too. So as you're wagering, you add more and more. Is there like a cap? Is it double the amount of rewards, or do you have?
It goes up to triple. So each additional death mark you put down is will double or triple it.
Here we go.
Try again. Here we go.
Jump in.
Yes, I want this job.
And the more
I don't know if who's gonna do it.
Oh wait, that's defeating enemies.
Oh, did they get him? Who got who?
Oh, we had so many conversations leading into this of like, hey, we need to make sure Nate hold back a little bit. And now I think one of our gameplay folks is just like, oh, Nate, you're mine.
Deleted.
Yeah.
No, going back to rewards, the better you do as an invader, the more rewards you're going to get. So each kill, each crest you put on the scoreboard, it equals more rewards. And then those get multiplied by your wager.
Cool.
Interesting.
All right. So
Invader got defeated twice.
So who wants to volunteer to be my invader when you're my team? There was a time that I was really good at invading in Gambit, and there was a time that I was absolutely terrible.
Invader has, you said 3 lives?
Which is
3 lives, and you can see up at the top of the screen it says Invader present still. So they're
oh, he's coming back for revenge. Oh, and it's immediately shut down.
Shut down with the 3.
I'm never gonna let Nate lose this
with the 3 coin wager too, or the 3 death mark wager.
He made a little bit there.
Good job.
So that's the.
Wait, what? Oh well, yeah. You're solo when you're invader. So you. Oh well, I guess I won't be invading at all then. Like I don't know why, but this activity is confusing me the most. But I'm learning. I'm learning.
I'm gonna put a little elbow in the.
Because there's only around during the weekends.
So,
he won't come back until Friday.
We've gone through some Renegades content, rewards, all that kind of stuff. I would love to shift focus a little bit to our general rewards update. So in the portal, in a bunch of different activities, we're going to have some new weapons that we're offering. We also have an armor refresh for a bunch of our activities. And Bjorn, I'm going to put the spotlight on you. So starting with our Vanguard Ops sort of armor set, this is going to be earned through Solo Ops, Fireteam Ops, and our new Arena Ops activity, which is bringing back 6-player activities to our portal, which is really exciting. It's going to be kind of like your militaristic, hey, I'm a grunt. I'm getting in there. I'm fighting the dark forces. The weapons, Bjorndal, up front, we have a new pulse rifle. What do we got?
Yeah, it's a new arc rocket frame pulse rifle. So you have an energy slot option now to go with your min retrograde. A lot of excellent perks on here. I know a lot of people love the arc perks and weapons, and now you'll have it on a rocket pulse.
Mm-hmm. And then we have a fusion rifle and a sidearm.
Yep.
Correct? Cool. And then we do have some weapons that we're not showing in this stream, so stay tuned for launch. But next up, we're going to have our Pinnacle Ops. So in our previous season, it was a kind of streetwear samurai, and this armor theme is
Kendo.
Kendo. And
Look
then we
at
have
the
two
pants!
returning weapons that I know players have been pretty excited about seeing in the past.
I
new
love
combinations,
them!
but also a new heavy crossbow.
Yeah, so this is a new Void crossbow to go to kind of fill out our elements for the crossbow now. And I think this one can get box breathing, which is new. Should be pretty good for what crossbows do.
Oh boy. So box breathing, aim down sight, get extra damage, and then run up to the enemy. Box breathing doesn't apply to serrated edge, but you pull the bolt back out
They
and
show
do some more
dawning
damage.
stuff?
That'll be a fun loot. Next up, Crucible. So this armor set is actually pretty fun. Over the years, we've done thematic sets tied to weapon foundries. So in the past, you've seen
this is
Hawkeye,
very
you've
vibrant.
seen Tex Mechanica, and now Suros is up to bat for the Crucible, and Shax is
I
going
like
to be
it.
handing these out. We also have some weapons up to slate. Fusion rifle is a returning favorite, I believe.
Yep, yeah, Riptide's coming back. We have a new aggressive Void hand cannon and a high impact machine gun.
Awesome. And then let's see, last but not least, Trials of Osiris. So another offering for our PvP audience. A few eagle-eyed players may have seen this armor set yesterday, a little sneak preview, totally planned. But yeah, we have a new armor set for each class, and as you can see, coming back with the glows, so as you get more wins on your card, you can unlock gold or red or blue. And then we have some new weapons that are coming as well.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this lightweight Void pulse
I
rifle
like
with
it.
your favorite model.
I admit, since the set came out on the moon, Eris, all the
so
crafty bits
good.
on it, cleaning it up, having, sorry, what frame type did you say?
Lightweight.
Lightweight. Chef's kiss. I cannot wait. And then I believe also we have a preview of a hand cannon. Now, one of our folks on the gameplay team over here was whispering in my ear, day by day, night by night, that these rolls are going to be a bit juiced, right?
Yes, yeah, this is a pretty juiced hand cannon. It's got perks for both PvE, PvP. It's a Strand 140. You can get stuff like Lone Wolf Precision Instrument or Slice Explosive Payload. So you have a lot of options to pick for both PvE and PvP.
Awesome. Yeah, and across all of our activity types, we're trying to sprinkle out
Strand
some
Freight
things that
Bringer.
players will get excited about. Not just, oh, I'm going to go into PvE to get the PvE gun. Like, there are some PvP rolls out there that you can get from your fire team ops. There's some PvE rolls that you can get from trials. And that doesn't even
like
cover
that.
what we have coming in the dungeon, too. Before we do a little dungeon teaser, I do have a quick announcement as well as we're rolling through the list. We have an open access week that's coming on December 2nd. So for any folks out there that haven't played The Edge of Fate, that is actually going to be included in this open access week. So if your friends haven't played, if you haven't played, hop in, check out the beginning of our new saga, and earn some cool loot on the way. It's available to all players for that week, and it also includes some previous content as well, campaign
said
and
the
other.
saga
So
word.
let's see here. Dungeon. We want to talk
Saga
about the dungeon.
usually means
So,
like, what, 10 years?
Equilibrium. This is going to be our new dungeon. The race begins on December 13th at 10 a.m. So that's the second Saturday. We've already announced the time, but if you haven't penned it in, if you haven't gotten your fire team together, get ready for contest mode. For those that don't know what contest mode is, on day one, right at launch, this is going to be a very difficult difficulty tuned for competition. So if you want to go and try to be the world's first completion, this is your place to shine. And if you win world first, we have a cool trophy or some goodies for you. So contest mode is going to be available for the first 2 days, 48 hours of the dungeon availability. You can earn a really spicy emblem and some cool stuff as you go through that. After world first has been declared, we will also have normal mode. So if you want to give a pass on some of that harder difficulty content, you just want to dive in and see what's on offer, that'll be there for you. Before we move on, we actually have a fun trailer to show. We can go ahead and roll.
Yeah!
6.
Woo!
Everything you've shown me, I've made real. I've marshaled a new Imperium to snuff out the light.
Oh, I'm so excited. What do we think the mechanics are going to be like?
Is yours. You know what comes next. Give me strength.
Ah! Sorry. Darksaber!
Take
definitely it's not as confusing. Yeah, fair.
Welcome back. So watching that trailer, I just realized we actually missed something with Invasions. We were talking about the Praxic blade and customization. There are different saber colors, correct?
Yeah,
Yes!
there's a wide variety of classic colors that I think players are going to have fun chasing down throughout the end game and maybe even in Invasion.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, we showed it on the screen. Red, Invasions. Yeah. So, okay, moving right along, ending out our show, we're going to be covering what is going on through the end of the year. So, during the launch window, we'll have some really cool things coming around. Vanguard orders are coming in week 2. And then after that, we're going to have the Dawning returning. So this is our winter celebration, our event, inviting Guardians to hop in, play some activities, get some fun rewards, and bake cookies for their favorite vendors in our tower. So Tom, just a really brief description for folks that may not know what the Dawning is.
Yeah, so the Dawning, you slay our enemies, you collect them as ingredients, and then you bake them into delicious treats you feed to your friends in the tower, like Zavala, and he's just got thousands of Galar-doodles raining down upon him, and he gives you a gift in return, which could be, you know, a spicy weapon roll, or you might be maybe get some bright dust from some other pursuits and get this totally cool Winter Wolf armor.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Drifter is outside like, ooh, you're putting enemies into the cookies? But
yeah, it's totally a Drifter thing.
Right. The Winter Wolf set, this is going to be available for Bright Dust just by playing the game, or if you want to snag it from Eververse for silver, go right on ahead. But also on top of this cosmetic, we have new weapons that are going to be a part of the Dawning.
Yeah. So we have a burst linear fusion rifle, a breach grenade launcher, and a precision sidearm. And then also with this excellent new holofoil treatment.
Is this the holofoil?
It's like covered in ice, and then as you fire, it'll slowly melt away the ice. That's cool.
Oh, perfect. All right. And sorry, I have one correction being whispered in my ear. Dungeon race starts at 9 a.m. Daylight savings time strikes again.
Gets us every time.
Every time. Oof. All right. So with that Dawning preview over, we are at the end of our show. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us today. As I said earlier, it has been a monumental effort. A ton of folks throughout the team have been crafting this experience, collaborating with Lucasfilm Games, and really just making something for you, our players. And we really, really hope you enjoy it. So thank you for coming. We're going to kick it back to our launch trailer here in case you missed it at the top. And again, if you missed the ViDoc launch trailer, check out our YouTube. And after this, stick around. We're going to be handing it off to one of our community members, Leopard Stealth, a friend to us for many ages, a guardian of all time. But also, I don't believe he existed before 2004, I've been told. So 04 or bust. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Such a great job, as always, to DMG for hosting the ViDoc.
You are supposed to protect the people.
Get to see the trailer one more time.
A time of guardians as shepherds of humanity.
I can't believe Drifter aged.
No.
I've been waiting so long for this. Dredge and hope.
They've shown me a vision I can't shake. New Cabal, the Barrent Imperium, sprung up out of nowhere across the system. That doesn't just happen. It's the 9. And I'm putting together a crew to prove it.
Yeah.
What do you say, weapon?
Us.
Welcome to the new Mars. Now the only law in Tharsis is the gun on your hip and the light in your hands. You'll do well here. I don't relish doing business with these leeches.
That's the
We
thing
need
they
to
were talking
find
about.
out what the Dredgen are after.
You crave justice. Why die for a criminal?
Why do you hate your own kind so much? It's time to take the fight to the Imperium.
one play left.
Let's go! Such a great trailer. Oh my gosh. I'm actually so excited. I want to know what you guys think though. I know that ever since Edge of Fate, not a lot of people have been happy with a lot of the decisions that Bungie has been making. Or, I guess, better said, not bringing out as much content. And I completely understand. You know, Ash and Iron was like very advertised, but it ended up not giving us much content really. And I understand if people are like, I'd rather see it first before I say anything, because, you know, all of this looks great, and it does get me very excited for it, but we don't really know what it feels like when we're, you know, how it feels like when we're playing until we're in the game ourselves to play it. But I am curious to see what you guys think of it from just watching a ViDoc. I can't tell if you just did that for fun, Purpley, or not, but 6.9 out of 10. Nice. Vince said 2 out of 10. Edge of Fate campaign was really good. I'm glad you enjoyed the Edge of Fate campaign. I did too. I thought it was great. And I am really excited for this. I think it's such a cool thing. It's like Star Wars and Destiny. I feel like it can't get any cooler than that. I think it's awesome. Lucky at a 7 out of 10. You saying you're not happy about the content or about the portal. You don't see Renegades as a saver of Destiny, but you're very excited to play it. Okay. You know, I think that's all that matters for right now. Renegades is a week away, and all we can really do is live in the now, right? So I think, you know, we don't really know what happens after that. They haven't said a single thing. They're supposed to give us a roadmap eventually, but I think if you're planning on playing Renegades, and if you enjoy it, that's awesome. That's great. What comes after that? We'll worry about it when we get there. I think as for now, I think we should definitely have fun in Renegades, and I really do hope everyone that does check it out and plays it, I do hope you have a great time playing it. But, yeah, I see what you mean, Funky Santa. Like, as someone who really loves Destiny, I hope this brings a lot of players back into the game. I understand why people have not been happy with Bungie. I understand why people have not been playing the game, because there just hasn't been anything to play in the game, right? Like, yeah, they have like their, 1 to 2 weeks events that they do, but in between that, there's not really much that's like new, and I get that. And there's been a lot of like incredible other games popping up out of nowhere, and I think that's perfectly fine for people to play those other games. But I do hope that there is more players coming back to the game, because seeing a game that I love and I enjoy very much struggle this much is really sad and painful to see. So I do hope that people do enjoy. I really hope that Renegades will pop off so people can enjoy it again. But I'm not here to force anyone on anything. So like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Like, if you like it, that's awesome. I love hearing that. If you don't like it, well, whatever else you're doing in life, I hope you enjoy, any other game that you might be playing. Not everyone's gonna like everything. Ultimately, you think this isn't really fixing your main grips with the game, so you're still going to wait until the roadmap comes out? Yeah, Mac. And I think yeah, I would honestly, before potentially checking the game out again. Okay, fair enough. You'd rather see the roadmap before anything else. Fair enough. Yeah, I think, we don't really know anything that happens after this. I think Star Wars is a ginormous franchise, and now for Destiny to be a part of it, or for Star Wars to be a part of Destiny, I guess that's better said. It's a big thing. People like sometimes hear Star Wars and are like, oh my gosh, no way. And I think there's been like hype that has been growing towards Renegades because of the fact that they're tying it with Star Wars. Bungie is gonna need something crazier after that comes out, you know, that beats the Star Wars theme. You know, does that make sense? So that people like get hyped for the next best thing, and then, you know, the next best thing. And I'm pretty sure that as a company, that is not an easy thing to accomplish, right? If you constantly have to get better and better and better and create something bigger and bigger every time, at some point I can understand when they're gonna be like, I have no ideas, right? But yeah, they're gonna have to bring out something crazy after the end of this year. Bungie has always been great at hyping Destiny 2. Yes. Yes. You're saying their landing lately hasn't been a lot to be desired. Well, I hope this changes it, but we won't really know until we get to next week. I do agree on Ash and Iron. They made it sound like there was gonna be more. And I don't know if I just misunderstood it or not, but we got, and I remember Ash and Iron dropped, and it was like a mid-season update, and I maybe I misunderstood it, I don't know. I was hoping there would have been at least like, even if it would have been like a side storyline, you know? Something! Story related! Literally all it gave us was a bunch of nerfs, buffs, and a 1-week event. And that was it! A 1-week event! And yeah, the current event, or not the current event, but the event that we just had, the Call to Arms, in my opinion, I thought it was a lot of fun. Because it brought the competitive out of it, and it was like, you know, you don't just play this like 50 times so you get the loot at the end. No, you like actually had to work for it in like the hardest difficulty, and I actually enjoyed it. The puzzles got old for you pretty fast, and Edgefe, gotcha. You finally did the Mythic campaign and made you maul so much, reminded you of how much you did. Oh, wait, really? What happened? Ghost Rider, the emblem you got from the stream this morning is not showing up in the game, and you did it. If you can, Ghost Rider, click on this link. This is a link to the Bungie website. Make sure you're logged into the Bungie account, and then click the big yellow button at the top of the page that says refresh. That will refresh any problems that might have occurred between your emblem from Twitch to your Destiny account. Yeah, all you could say is you're gonna invade all the time searching. What the frick did I just read? All I can say is I'm gonna invade all the time searching for you. I thought you... Wow, you got me so good. What the heck? I thought that was gonna be like, oh, you know, you can't wait to like do all the invading in the game. That took such a different turn than I thought it was gonna take. You're at a 7.5 out of 10. The Dawning was always your favorite event to play. You have high hopes this time around. Okay, good. I do enjoy the whole like idea of baking cookies. I think that's always cool. Baking cookies. Yeah. I do like the Dawning armor pieces though. That looked really good. I can't wait to see what else is going to be like in the Eververse store, because they usually always have like some emotes and stuff that are great. But I also hope that I don't know, they didn't really say they're adding anything new to it though, which sucks. It would be cool if there was some type of new activity, like you know how they did for Halloween, but something like Christmassy related. We have to enjoy what we have, and we'll see later. If I'm having fun, it's already that. Yeah, I think what comes after Destiny, like, I want to enjoy this, and then afterwards we'll worry about what happens to Destiny after that. Or, like, what happens to the roadmap and stuff after that. But I do agree with what you say. We have to enjoy what we have. I think, you know, one day Destiny might not ever exist again. You know, one day Destiny might not exist anymore, and I'll take the little content that we can get for it as long as Destiny's still up. But then again, seeing like so many players go away from it is just so sad to see. You don't see the issues being solved with Renegades. It will create an influx of Star Wars lovers, but the issues will remain. Not trying to... No. You're not being a party pooper. You're just being like, what's it called? You know, you're just being legit with your words. And I do agree. I think even, like... I think people will 100% come back to the game. Not everyone, but some people might 100% come back to the game because of the fact that this is Star Wars themed. And I think it's a great idea. And, you know, for Lucasfilms to, like, take part in it too, I think that's awesome. But, you know, what comes after that? I do agree. Like, what kind of content are we going to have after that, right? I will also say that, like, Bungie is not the only game that, you know, every game has its low points. Every game, when they drop a new DLC or a new big update, it pops off, right? People get on, they play it, but once they finish it, you know, and there's nothing to keep them playing, then they'll drift away and they'll play other games. But then when something new drops, they might come back. And this happens with a lot of games. And I think it is really hard for someone to come up with ideas to keep players in the game. And I see Bungie doing it all the time. But I think the community isn't liking the approach that they sometimes take with trying to keep the players here. So, yeah, I'm interested to see the roadmap. I'm interested to see what they're going to be doing. Gotcha, Mastor. Yeah, you're definitely coming back to play this. With Renegades, if you have to give it a rating, your honest rating has to be a 7.7 out of 10 at Bungie numbers. I see what you did there. No, I'm kidding. Close to an 8, but you wanted to see how much content there is to play over a long period of time before you change your mind to it. Yeah, that's understandable. So far, I mean, we're getting a new dungeon, 2 new activities, like a whole new area, because this is a DLC, right? They changed it from 1 big DLC to 2 DLCs a year, so it feels so soon. I'm used to having like 1 big DLC a year. It's weird to have like already another DLC drop. But yeah, I do hope it gives good content. I hope it gives a good amount of the story as well. Like, Edge of Fate had a very lengthy story, in my opinion, and I'm hoping this does as well. I really hope it's not, like, super short. Right, this will bring people back, but the thing is, they need to keep the retention and not just let it fog in. Yeah, they need to have something that keeps us playing. Ooh, you kind of hope this leads us to an Evil Guardians faction. That would be cool. 100%. I've always wanted to have something where we end up being on the bad side at some point. I think that would like be a really cool like story twist. Assassin! Thank you so much for the 100 bits. I need to catch up on everyone, by the way. Thank you so much for the 100 bits. I appreciate it. That is very kind of you. Thank you. Did it ever play? I don't think I heard any ta-das. In your opinion, this is Destiny 3, but it should have been on Unreal Engine 5. I 100% agree. I think Edge of Fate had so many changes to the game that Edge of Fate was basically like a new game. It was Destiny 3. And instead of calling it Destiny 3, they're still calling it Destiny 2 because they're adding on to it. When I do think they should be bringing out a new game. Call it Destiny 3. Call it whatever they want. Call it Destiny 3. Instead of adding on to that Destiny 2 game, I think getting everything put on a different engine would 100% change a lot of stuff. But, you know, the thing still stands about having the players stay on the game and not drift somewhere else because there's nothing else to play. Yeah. Yeah. I have some opinions. I think Bungie sometimes has really good ideas to keep players on the game, but then they change the idea crafting was a phenomenal idea. I enjoyed crafting. The problem is that once you get those 5 weapons, you stop grinding. Because once you have those 5 red frames, you can craft it to whatever perks you want. That's it. You're not gonna step inside the mission again because you have it, right? So like, crafting idea was phenomenal, but it reduced the amount of time people played. If I did the dungeon 5 times, and within those 5 times that I played, I got all the red frames, I'm good. You know, I can see why people are like, well, why do I play if I have everything from it and I could just change it to whatever? Oh, wait, you know, rapid hit just got this huge buff. Well, let me just change it through crafting. I like the crafting idea. It just brought people away from grinding. Same thing with the tiers. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, like, I know people have different opinions on this, but now they're changing it to where, like, I don't remember how it was. I think they're changing it so that if you have a...
Let's go another month, Zwerg Hypers, Zwerg Hypers, Zwerg Hypers.
Let's go! If you have, like, a tier 3 weapon for Renegades, you can now switch that to a tier 5. And I get that, and I understand why people want that, and shoot, I have weapons that are god rolls and are only tier 3s, and I would love to change it to tier 5. But if we wouldn't have had that, there would have been a really high chance I would have gone back into the activity, regrinded the same weapon for a god roll, so I can get it, and it would keep me playing, right? I know not everyone's probably gonna agree with me, but that's okay. I just think that as a very, like, I think having that is such a good thing. I love it, like, being able to, like, wow, I don't need to regrind this. But I also will say that if I had to regrind it, I will choose to regrind it, and that keeps me playing. It'll be a great first week anyway. You've played every day since D1. You could not possibly play last season. Too much heartache. You hope it hits the highs. You'll experience it. I hope so too, Hammer. I hope so too. John, welcome in. Destiny 3? Destiny 3. Maybe they can get new players with that collab. I hope so, Funky Santa. Yeah. With the Star Wars, so you hope it'll be good so they can keep them. I think the goal for Destiny should be to get new players to the game and not keep trying to get the veteran players to keep getting back on a game. Does that make sense? If you have played a game for, like, how long has this game been out? 10 years. 10 years? Over 10 years if we count Destiny 1. So, the game has been out for a while. I can understand that some players from Destiny 1 might not feel the same hype and nostalgia that they used to do back then, because a lot of stuff has changed. And change is supposed to be a good thing, right? But I feel like getting new players is also a good thing, right? You know, like a new generation of people to, like, enter Destiny, I think can also be a good thing. And I think Destiny a lot of the times focuses on what players want that have been playing this game for years, and a less focus on, like, getting new players back on a game as well. Which, with Edge of Fate, a lot of that has changed because they added in a bunch of stuff that helps for new players, by the way. But yeah, it changed recently. But yeah, I do hope we get some new gamers. New gamers right now. So you know when we first played Destiny, it was all nostalgic. It was great. When we look back to it, we're like, dang, that was such a great time. We played a mission again that we played when we first started Destiny. We listened to the music we used to play back then, or like we used to hear in Destiny when we first played. People that are now starting Destiny, that is what they're feeling. Right? Because it's their first experience in Destiny. It's kind of like how you just started this whole different game yesterday and it was your first experience if you really enjoyed it. And, you know, in a couple of years you're going to look back to it and you're going to be like, wow, the nostalgia on this game was crazy. Like, it was awesome. And that's what new players are going to feel like today playing Destiny. And you know, for someone that probably has played this game for a really long time, you're not gonna get that first player experience nostalgic anymore, because you've been playing the game for years. I don't know where I'm going with this. They were probably expecting Edge of Fate to not be complete flops, so they had to do 180 and fix. So yeah, I don't know. I think Edge of Fate. I like actually enjoyed Edge of Fate. I thought the storyline was phenomenal. The raid was good, but in terms of keeping players on the game, there wasn't much. I agree. There wasn't much of that. I do think for me the holofoil weapons is something that keeps making me want to play the activities. And I know I do a lot of activities because I do raffles and I want to help you guys out and everything. Sorry, I'm so behind. But I do enjoy getting the holofoil weapons because they're such a rare thing to get. As a huge pain for not being able to retain people, so that needs to be priority to try and replace a lot of the vets that have dipped. Right! I think it's best for them to stop focusing on what the veterans want and instead try and get new players on the game, right? You know, every year, every couple of years, you know, you want to try and get a whole new generation back on a game and get their first experience on a game. You know, does that make sense? Like, you know, people, there are people that will literally play a game for like 50 years straight. But if you play the same game on a daily basis for the next 50 years, I can understand, you know, that sometimes people might lose interest. So I think it's better to focus on new players. Yeah, I know you didn't like Matter Spark. A lot of people don't like Matter Spark. I thought it was pretty funny. Forcing you to use it every 2 seconds? Nah, you guys... Thank you! Sorry, you like Matter Spark? I did too. The revive points. I will say they did have problems at first, but I didn't really experience that many problems, so maybe that was a problem. I didn't really have that many problems with Matter Spark, so I don't see the problem. But I know a lot of people went through a lot of different problems, so I can understand. But I didn't have problems. You feel like you need to put more Christmas lights up? Oh, I can't wait to put mine up. You can't help but to come back when something new releases. You put so much time into the game already. I think you guys should play what you guys enjoy. Whether that is Destiny or not. You know, it's your life. You should play what you want to play. And I do think a lot of people come back to Destiny when a big DLC drops. And I think it's perfectly fine. For maybe not perfectly fine. Like, it's perfectly fine for you to play the new stuff and then dip and then play other things as well, but like, you know, that's the whole point. That's not the point of a live service game. The live service game is having you stay on the game, which has been lacking in this game. But there's also a reason why not many live service games exist, like Destiny. There's Destiny. There's World of Warcraft. And Destiny. You're being forced to play Valo? You would rather play D2 so you know how much... Well, Vince! Let's play D2 then! You think what did it for you to not get Edge of Fate was you were so tired of needing to grind power and quest most of your limited free time? They go so hard on the grind and you just get tired of doing that every 3 months. It feels no wait, not competitive. Repetitive, that's the word I'm looking for. If it starts feeling repetitive. And I think that's what they have been trying to change. But I also think trying to change something like that into something different can be really difficult on idea-wise. Like, I wouldn't have any other ideas of how to, like, change that. But I do understand what you mean. Yeah, like, every layout or every DLC drop, you know, has been pretty much kind of the same every time, right? We know exactly what we need to do when we like get into the game. We like look for the quest, we follow it, you know, do this and do that. But yeah, I see what you mean. And that's what, like, last year or earlier this year, that's exactly what people were, you know, complaining about almost. And it's like, it just feels too repetitive. So I think they changed, like, the whole Edge of Fate stuff where it was non-linear. So your experience was different to other people's experiences. Sparrow Racing, love playing that on D1. I never got to play Sparrow Racing. The grind to get to 500 is a burnout, hence is why you stepped away to play other games. Yes and no. I understand why Bungie wanted to bring the light level down, and it was because they want to keep the player base up, right? Bringing the light level back down to 200, for example, means we all have to get back on and grind before we can do any of the other activities, for example. The way they changed the light level grinding felt like other games that I have played, where you would run the same mission over and over and over again until you get to the point that you want to be in. I know a lot of other games that do that. And it's like, it's interesting to see, and I don't, like, I'm not hating on anyone, but it's interesting to see, and I don't want to say what game, but there's one other game that has a similar grind to it, but it's more like, it's not because of leveling up, it's more like having to do the same mission like 150 times, so you can hopefully at some point get the drop that you want. And I think I can see how that's rewarding, especially if it's a really rare drop, because like every match you're like, is it like, am I getting it now? Am I getting it now? But I do find it kind of a similar thing because you're doing the same mission over and over again. I don't know why, and like if you have an idea, let me know. For some reason that game doesn't get any hate of doing, like, they're like, yeah, if it takes like 150 tries, then it takes 150 tries, right? But yeah. I did a lot of raffles for level grinding because I enjoy playing with you guys and I like to help you guys. So instead of me doing what's it called? Instead of me doing like solo mines all day long, I'd rather include you guys into my fire team so that we can grind together. And then it's not just me being selfish and getting all the loot. I'm actually including you guys so we can all get loot and try and level up. So I never did a lot of the solo grinding. I don't think I would have done like 500,000 solo missions to level up. I think there should have been different ways to level up. I think doing harder missions like dungeons and raids, for some reason they were slacking at Edge of Fate. There was like nothing good dropping from them for a really long time. I wish they would have dropped like, you know, +6 levels of your light level. I think that would get a lot of people on the game, you know, if you know that like dungeons and raids and trials, for example, have such a big difference to light level compared to the other activities, and then have other activities that are more difficult give more light, other activities that are less difficult give less light, and I feel like the variety of the different amount of levels that you could earn in different activities was just kind of lacking. There just wasn't much. Like, I think raids and dungeons never gave any big light level stuff when it first dropped. So I don't know what happened there. But yeah. You're up for changes in the game, but really disappointed with the current path and the order content, like raids, dungeons, etc., not giving rewards that help with living it. Yeah, I don't know why Edge of Fate's raids just, like, didn't have much good stuff. Except for obviously like the weapons, there were some good weapons in there, but as for leveling up, it was the tiers as well! You couldn't get any high tier stuff. And I think they were saving most of it for the epic raid, but it's like, there's potential in this raid. This just dropped and we can't even get the best stuff. Like, we had to grind mines because mines have better stuff than a raid, which is supposed to be harder, right? I'm yapping, I'm sorry. That decision also killed the incentive to do Sherpas for you. Sherping was the only thing that kept you going until the last May. I do like to Sherpa as well. I did a lot of Sherping, and I agree. It was like, you know, I Sherpa people through it so they can get like an idea of what the raid is, and that makes me extremely happy if I'm able to help out in that way. But there were also people in my fire team that are like, oh, I can get better loot in mines, you know, and that's a crazy thing to think about because you can do mines in like 5 minutes as a solo. So yeah, it should have had better rewards and high rewards. And then I took gems away. I'm still so salty about it. You already have too much loot. The thing is, for you, you're tired of managing your inventory at a point where you might even be in favor of a sunset. Whoa, that's the S word. We don't say the S word in here. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, I'm kidding. I think Edge of Fate was a soft sunset for the Destiny community, because all the older weapons that are low tiers or have 0 tiers just aren't useful anymore, so